Well, hello, everybody. It is Tuesday, isn't it? It's Tuesday. I don't know why that says Monday. Let me fix that. It is Tuesday. It is the 10th. Yes. See what I did? Fix it that quickly. I'm on the ball. I know what I'm doing. It is Tuesday, February the 10th, and you're watching 270 weather for the 270 area code and beyond. I'm Chris Allen, which you can also see on News 40 every day on sunrise at 6 a.m. and then at 9 and then at noon. And if you watch me today, you'll know that I talked about the chance of rain coming in tonight. And then what happens after? What happens after we had this glorious day today? And let me just tell you the numbers. We were close to a record high temperature today. Now, I predicted 72, but we ended up at 76. Whoo! 76 was the high temperature today officially in Bowling Green at the Bowling Green Warren County Regional Airport, which is right out there, right outside my window. Now that's 76 degrees, 26 degrees warmer than the normal high of 50. But here's the thing. The 76 that we hit today was only 3 degrees shy of the record, 79, set in 1932. Wow, wow, wee. Isn't that crazy? And boy, it felt good, didn't it? Did you get out in it? I mean, did you take advantage of being, I know it was windy. It was windy. But boy, it was like, I told my wife, I said, can we just keep this? We had the windows open, letting the breeze come through. And it was just, oh, it was so perfect. But alas, it has to go away. Now, I will tell you that it's not going to get cold. It's not going to get, we're not going to get ice and snow coming back into the forecast, but we are going to cool down as we head into late tonight and tomorrow. But actually, if you think about it, we should not be at 76 degrees here on the 10th of February. We should not be there. So a cold front's going to come in tonight. We're going to kind of hit the reset button. And behind the front, we're going to go back to where we're supposed to be for high temperatures this time of the year, which is around 50, 51, 52 degrees over the next, say, week. Now, that's not bad. Now, that you got to admit, that's better than the ice and the snow and temperatures in the teens and 20s. Surely you feel that that's much better, right? Hopefully so. Well, let's get to it. So after an almost record-breaking day, we go back to reality tomorrow. But here comes our cold front. Now, our cold front is right now back into Missouri. You see it right there, attached to a low pressure system. It's not a very strong low pressure system. It's just, just kind of there. But this front now, the front will begin to bring us cooler air. And you can see behind it, the cool down is not immediate. I mean, there's still 50s going on back here behind the front. And then you start to see some 40s as you head into Kansas, but ahead of the front, yeah, I mean, look, we're still at 70 degrees in Bowling Green here at 6:31 p.m. Isn't that nice? I mean, we still have our windows open, and it's really really nice. Now we're starting to see some shower activity. You can go up here to Litchfield, and I'm going to see if it's any rain falling there. Doesn't look like it. I don't see anything on the camera lens. Your temperature, oh, nice, 68 with a wind from the west at 9 there in Litchfield. But the shower activity is just lurking outside of the city there in Grayson County, Litchfield. Let's go to Western Kentucky, go over to Gage, Kentucky. It's cloudy there. I don't see any raindrops. I didn't see anything on the radar. Now we can go further south, down around the Nashville area where we're getting some other returns. This is Linden, Tennessee. And look, you can see the wet streets. This is a live view out of Linden, 61 degrees with a south wind at 7. Wet roads there. But yeah, the rain is there. The rain is there. Let's check Memphis traffic camera. I-55. Pavement looks kind of dry, but there could be some light rain that's beginning to fall there. We're seeing some returns on the radar. Let's check I-40 in Memphis. Still looks kind of dry. Okay, let's go to Waynesboro, Tennessee. Yeah, there's some raindrops. Temperature at 64, relative humidity 100%, and a south wind at 9. So yeah, the rain is coming, and you can see that it's working its way northward, and eventually it's going to be here in the Bowling Green area in southern Kentucky as we go through the night. Let's see. Anything in Louisville? Not yet. Let's take a look at Louisville anyway while we have a camera. And you can see it's 59 with a northwest wind at 13. Looks kind of hazy, but Louisville usually looks that way. You'll be getting some rain up toward Louisville here shortly. In fact, that looks like, yeah, there's some raindrops. Okay. So all that in the background, you see them? Dope, dope, dope. Spot, spot, spot. Raindrops keep falling on my head. B.J. Thomas, great song. Raindrops are falling in Louisville. So, and there's hardly anything on the radar there. That's kind of weird. But anyway, so from Lexington to Bardstown down to almost Litchfield, we're starting to see some shower activity as expected. And then these showers over toward Harrisburg, Illinois, then back toward Carbondale, in that area right along the cold front is where we're starting to see showers popping up. But now temperatures won't go down immediately. I mean, we're going to stay in the 60s and 70s for a while. Well, mostly 60s. Let's say mid to upper 60s. We'll start to fall off in temperature once we get into late night and once that cold front starts to come in. But if you want to sit outside on your porch and enjoy this really, really nice weather for a little bit longer before it says bye-bye, Felicia, then I would suggest you go do it now. Well, after this is over, after my podcast is over. But yeah, this is one of those nights you can sit on the porch swing or out, on your porch or, just sit outside and just take it in. Because after today, it's gone. It's gone for a while. This is only a teaser. It is not a sign of things to come. Not yet. Not yet. All right. Let's move ahead. Let's go to the Kentucky Mesonet Network, where we have seen some impressive numbers today. And the numbers right now are showing mostly 60s all across the board. Now, where did we end up today as high temperatures? Well, there you go. Look at all these 74s for Bowling Green. Remember, 76 was the official high here at the airport, but at the Mesonet sensors, at the Corvette plant, and the Ag Expo Center, both registered 74 for a high. And you see lots of 73, 74s, 75s. There's 76 in Burkesville today. But yeah, boy, that was nice. Now, here's the thing. We started this morning in the 20s. We went from upper 20s. Now, the official low in Bowling Green was 31 here at the airport. But I remember this morning, if you were watching sunrise, I was pointing out some places that were all over the map as far as temperatures. But we had some 20s, and you can see there at the Corvette plant, they started at 29. But we ended up at 76 today. And because I wasn't that great at math, I have my calculator. And that is a 47 degree sweep from this morning to this afternoon. We started at 29, ended up 76. That's a 47 degree difference. Wow. Now, we had some places that were in the 40s, some in the 30s, and some in the 20s. It was just kind of a weird, it was the way the atmosphere was setting. It was really dry, high pressure overhead, stable air. And then some of you still are getting temperatures like up in Grayson County, Litchfield. You still had this morning, even some places that had a little bit of ice and snow. Some of the places that had shade where the sun hadn't gotten to it. And that does a number on your temperature. That makes it colder. But then once the sun came up, the southwest wind started to really pump in here today. Well, that brought everybody's temperature up pretty evenly. So, man, nice. No rainfall yet. That's the operative. Yet. But it's coming, as you saw on radar. Winds right now. The winds are coming out of the south and southwest, 5 to 10 to 12 to 14. Gusts, 15 to 20. And we've had that pretty much all afternoon. Even some places getting close to 30 miles per hour as far as a gust of wind. But mostly 10 to 15 to 20. Very breezy today, and it's because of the approaching front and the pressure differences that we are experiencing right now. So, all right, let's get to the maps. And we're going to, there's several things I want you to watch as I go through the maps. One is not only this cold front that's coming through tonight, but also the high pressure that's coming back behind it that's going to cool us down about 20 degrees tomorrow. And then there's a low pressure system that's off the Pacific coast, way out west, that's actually going to influence our weather with that cold front that you see coming through tonight. The two of them are going to latch up over the coming days, and I'll show you how that's going to work, which is going to make our weekend wet. I know it's Valentine's weekend, but there's not much I can do about it. So here we are right now. The cold front about to come through. As you can see, there's not a lot of rain. Some of you may pick up a tenth of an inch, maybe up to a quarter inch of rain, but it's not going to be much. This is a fast moving front. And you can see behind it, big Canadian high pressure building. This is the cooler air that's going to come in behind the front starting late tonight. Tomorrow's going to feel different. It's not going to feel like this. But don't get mad at me. It's not my fault. I told you this was coming. But it's not going to get cold. But compared to the 76 that we had today, it's going to feel cooler. And it will be cooler. But really, when you get into around 50, 51, 52, like I said, that's where we're supposed to be this time of the year. So it'll be fine. At least I'm not telling you that it's going to be 20 or 21 or 22. I'm telling you 50s. That's where we're going to be the rest of the week. And no, I'll tell you right now, I don't see another shot of winter weather coming our way. That's the latest thing that's been popping up. That and the new Tornado Alley. Oh my goodness. The new tornado. The tornado alleys keep shape shifting. That's what I almost said, a dirty word. Shape shifting. They keep changing and moving here and moving there. Yeah. But quit worrying about it. There's nothing out there like that right now. We'll get to that in due time. We'll get to severe weather in due time. In the meantime, just enjoy the day. Just enjoy this nice weather. Be glad that we don't have any severe weather with this big change in temperature. Sometimes we do, not every time. But to think we're going to go from 76 down to 38 tonight and then to around 50 tomorrow, that's a big swing in temperature. Sometimes when that happens in the wintertime, especially, we usually get severe weather with it, but not this time. As I said last night, this is not that kind of a weather setup. This is not a classic severe weather setup. Even though last week the yahoos were saying this was going to be big severe weather. Look out, here it comes. And I said, no. I mean, anyway, so here comes high pressure. Now, I want you to look off the coast of California. This low pressure system right here is going to close into itself, and then it's just going to meander, I like that word, meander across the country. And eventually, it's going to hook up with this front as we get into the weekend, because this front is going to go south of us, but because of high pressure in the Atlantic, it's going to block that front from going any further south or washing out. So it's going to go down here, it's going to stall, and as that ripple of low pressure rides along from the west into our area, it's actually going to hook up with that front and send it back to the north. And that is what's going to cause our wet weekend. And you're saying, wait, a low pressure system that's off the coast of California is going to influence our weather by the weekend? Yeah, it happens all the time. So let's get to it. Here we go. Later tonight, this is 12 midnight. The front comes through Bowling Green and southern Kentucky. You see the rain here. Again, it's not going to be a lot. But then the temperatures will start to go down. Now, best news of all, the temperatures are not going to get cold enough tonight to change any of this rain over to something mixy or wintry. I know that has happened all winter long. Every time we get some rain, then it gets colder and you get something mixing in or snow or freezing rain or sleet. That's not going to happen this time. We're going to stay warm enough to where you don't have to worry about that. So in the morning, when you get up, you get ready to go to school or work, it's just going to be wet and cooler. Okay? Here's our low, still waiting to come in off the coast of California. Let's go to 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. Here's our cold front. There's our high pressure further south. And we're going to watch this high pressure start to stall that front as it moves south. And there's the low out west. Let's go to Wednesday, midday. This is noontime tomorrow. Notice the front is further south, and notice how deep the Canadian high is taking over. Yes, it will have some cooler air. Yes, you will feel the difference, but it's not going to stay that way. And there's our low out west. Keeping an eye on it, it's still kind of in the same place. All right. Here we go into Wednesday night at 6. High pressure in control. We've got sunshine. Highs around 50 on Wednesday. Tomorrow, down into the upper 20s to low 30s. Wednesday night into Thursday morning. And Thursday, we're back up into the, well, some of you will be in the upper 40s. Others, like us in Bowling Green South, will be probably around 50. Now, let's go to Thursday. Here's midnight, early Thursday morning. Okay? For some reason, the fronts didn't paint on. There they are. Now it reset. Quit. Come back. Come back. Come back. Okay, now here we are. Sometimes when I'm showing this map, it'll automatically do a reset and it'll shove everything back to the beginning. I hate that. But these are the same maps that pilots use. It's from the Aviation Weather Center. And I use these because they're actually a little more descriptive. And to me, they paint the picture a lot better than just your ordinary kind of weather map. So the National Weather Service puts this out, but it's specifically for pilots. I like it, though, because it tells the story. So there's our front. Here's high pressure. Thursday looks good. There's the front that's coming through tonight is going to be in the Gulf. And now our low pressure system is starting to move out of California and now into Nevada, Utah, so forth and so on. Now, there is a little hint of, and I saw this today, where there could be this just little piece of moisture coming in the upper flow in the high pressure ridge that could produce a little bit of light rain Thursday evening. But you see there now, with high pressure being over Indiana, it's going to act like Pac-Man and chop, 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 and just chop away at that moisture. So there may be some west of us, Illinois, Missouri, but now it looks doubtful that any of that's going to move across the 270. Here's the front that's coming through tonight. It's still down in the Gulf, and now it's starting to hook up with that low pressure system that is, at this moment, still off the coast of California. But now it's starting to move across the country. We go into Friday. Here comes the front, and now it's starting to bend back to the north. High pressure still ruling our weather on Friday, and I think it'll be a fairly nice day Friday with highs in the mid-50s. But once this warm front gets a little closer to us, that's when we're going to start to get rain, as this whole system begins to move east. Now we go into Saturday. This is Saturday morning. Now look what's happening. Here's the low deepening a little more, and look at this thing. Now I'm telling you, I'll just tell you right now, just be glad that this is not snow. Because as I mentioned here last night, if this moved in with as much moisture as it's going to have, and we had the usual 10-to-1 ratio, water versus snow, and how much water it takes to make an inch of snow, that's a 10-to-1 ratio, but sometimes those ratios can go 12-to-1, 15-to-1, 20-to-1. But let's just look at this and say, boy, this would be a ton of snow. Big snow. But it's not. It's all rain. But Chris, somebody said there's going to be severe weather. Yeah, goodness gracious. Stop looking at those things. Stop sharing those things. Here we go into Sunday. This is Sunday morning. The low, which has been out here right now off the coast of California, not that one, but this right now it's back here, but it moves all the way across the country into about Memphis, Tennessee on Sunday morning with a little disturbance going north, a little shortwave, which is going to enhance the rainfall as it moves through. And yeah, there could be a rumble of thunder. We might even get a rumble of thunder tonight somewhere with enough lift. There's just enough lift that somebody might hear a rumble of thunder tonight. But it's not going to be a big deal. If you hear thunder tonight, just go, psh, ain't no thing. Go back to bed. Same thing on Sunday. Here we go into Monday, and it's gone. Now it's off the coastal Carolinas, and high pressure begins to build back in. As we head into Monday, President's Day, Washington's birthday. And now, look at this. Here comes another set of systems off the Pacific coast. The Pacific getting very active. And this kind of thing is going to influence our weather eventually as we go through time. Here we go into next Tuesday, a week from today. High pressure here, but look what's happening. That's a southwest wind. Oh boy, there's a warm front. Oh, it's going to be warm. It's going to be warm. It's going to be warm. In the 60s. We're talking 60s. Yep, there you are. Next Tuesday, the 17th. Now, what about Saturday, Valentine's Day? So I back it up here. So here comes our low. There's our front, sort of semi-quasi-stationary with a little shortwave trough over the area. Enough to, put out some shower activity, but nowhere except for a little bit of sliver of Illinois do you see any wintry weather. I don't know where these people that post this stuff, either about severe weather or here comes winter back with a vengeance. I saw that one today, and I'm like, show me where. Show me. They can't. They're making this crap up. Okay? Here we go. Sunday, and again Monday, Tuesday. And it's going to get warm. Now, next week after Tuesday and all this back here, that bears watching. And of course, I will. But that's way down the road. Quit worrying about all that stuff. These people live off of you worrying about what's coming 20, 30 days away from now. Just forget about it. Too much will change between now and then. All right. Let's do the contrast and compare. with the European model. Rain snow line way to the north. There's our little bit of shower activity right there coming through tonight. Cold front, fast mover, and then it's out of here by tomorrow morning. And yes, it will get cooler. But again, look, it doesn't come all the way through Kentucky. It's just going to be a reset. We go from 70s to 50s. But 50s is where we're supposed to be. All right? Now, here we go, Thursday into Friday. Notice that rain snow line just kind of sits there, doesn't move much. Hardly anything showing up as far as moisture. Here we are into Friday, and now we get into Saturday, and this is when we start to get what we call the kind of the overrunning moisture that's going to come up from the south. And with the warmer air to the south, then that warmer air overrides or goes over the top of some of this colder air. So we're going to be far enough south of the rain snow line to where we're not going to have to worry about wintry weather or this doggone awful mixy stuff we've had so many times this winter. It's all going to be rain. So trust me on this, okay? Here we go into Saturday. This is Valentine's Day, and yes, it will start to get wet. But the European model wants to keep this a little further south. We'll see. Some of you may get by without any shower activity on Saturday. But the real good surge of moisture will then start to move in Sunday. Now, I will tell you this. The European model has this low way far to the south. Where I showed you the low was going to move through was right about, it was going to traipse across the country, Memphis, Tennessee, and then it was just going to kind of go out through the Carolinas. Well, the European model has it further south. So that would push the shield of rain further south. But here's the thing. This is Saturday into Sunday. I think there's going to be a correction. There's going to be a realignment because the models are not agreeing at this point where the low is going to go. So that could affect our forecast. Either it's going to be drier than what's being predicted, and already some of the rainfall totals have come down because of this more southern jaunt or shift of that low further south in this model than the ordinary GFS models and all that. So they're not in agreement. So the Weather Service did, and I'll show you, they did lower the rainfall potential for the weekend. And it's not a whole lot different, but it's going to be a little different. So if the low follows the more southern track, even at that, you don't see any wintry weather. That would be the perfect setup for winter weather. But look, the rain snow line is way to the north of us. We're right here. And that's great. Now, in some of the higher elevations, West Virginia, Western Virginia state, there could be enough, in the higher elevations for a little snow, but even that's not going to be a big deal. Now we go into Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Look, just check out how big this surge of warm air is. And this is where we start warming back up again. We're talking upper 50s at first, then 60s, and then mid 60s, maybe by the middle of next week. By Tuesday, actually, we could be in the mid 60s once again, or upper 60s like today, or close to 70. Now, There is some upper level energy. You see a disturbance, but look, it stays way to the north of us. This is next Thursday, the 19th, and now the 20th. Now, this may be something that could be of interest. That's going to be a nice cold front with a lot of wintry weather on top, of course, where you've got the rain snow line, but then where it's warm and you got the surge of warm air coming in, moist air, dew points rising in the 60s. The low pressure system, 988 millibar. That's a fairly strong low pressure system. So maybe by next Thursday, not this coming Thursday, but the following Thursday, we might be looking at something that could be, let's just say, active. I'm not going to say it's severe yet, but active. Okay? We'll hang on to that. That's in the back of our minds. It's not first and foremost. Here we go on the next Friday, then Saturday. Yeah. Now the rain snow line comes a little bit further south. But getting really cold? No, not yet. I still think there's time for us to see some more cold air before winter's over and maybe another snow. Who knows? Look at this. Now, this is the QPF, the Quantitative Precipitation Forecast. This shows you the next 7 days, the potential for measurable rainfall. Now, last night we were in the deep red, which showed the potential for 2.5 to 3 inches of rain right over southern Kentucky. But now it's showing us 1.25 to 1.5 inches. So that's what I was saying with the more southern track that the European model is showing of the low pressure system. Instead of it moving, say, right around Memphis, Tennessee, that southern shift is affecting where the heaviest of the rains are going to set up. And it's right there in parts of eastern Oklahoma, central Arkansas. And Arkansas is in a deep drought right now. I mean, we're close to being drought, but we're not there. But Arkansas is in bad shape, and they need that rain, and they're going to get it. So now the heaviest rains have shifted further southwest of the 270, and that's the way it looks now. But it has time to shift again. As newer models come in, it may shift back to the north. So, as we say in the business, stay tuned. Now let's go to the model blender. Couple of days here tomorrow, around 50. Same goes for Thursday. And then we go into the mid 50s. Notice the climb. You can just look at these bars. Climbing, 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 climbing. Look at this. 60s and maybe even close to 70 again by next Wednesday. Then we do see a drop-off, not a big one, but a little bit of a drop-off next Thursday and Friday. And I just showed you in the European model that jet stream, the rain snow line, all of that starts to come a little bit further south. Does that mean we're going to get a winter storm? No. No, no, no. We're not there yet. Too soon to say, but I mean, with these temperatures, we're good. We're looking really good for a while. So enjoy. Enjoy. And enjoy because you just never know. I mean, it's only the 10th of February, and you know that something could happen again anytime. And if it does, you need to be ready. So R&R Controls is ready for you. And they are ready to bring you some power when you need it, like when the lights go out. And if you have a Generac generator that R&R Controls installs, you're good to go within a few seconds of the power going off. That kicks on because it's wired into your house or wired into your business. And you just keep going. When everybody else has their power out and stuff is melting in their freezers and you got stuff ruining and you've got all kinds of problems and you're trying to, like I showed you last night, trying to find a flashlight or a candle or an oil lamp just to see. And then more importantly, in the wintertime to keep the heat on. If you had one of these, you'd be able to do all that. R&R Controls, they're getting a little backlogged because of the winter storm we just had. There are a bunch of people that are wanting generators. And R&R Controls can get you set up. Just know that they've got a waiting list now. They're going to get to you. Hopefully before the next big storm comes in, whether it's a winter storm or a severe storm. But they'll get to you. And here's the thing. They're not going to install a Generac generator and then just leave you sitting there. They will set you up on a regular service schedule. Preventative maintenance is what they call it. And every so often they'll come in, they'll flip the lid. There's a lid right there on top of that generator. Lift it up. And there are the mechanisms to make that generator work. It has to have fuel. It has to have filters. It has to have all the things that make it work within seconds of your power going off. So R&R will set you up on a preventative maintenance schedule. So they will come out every so often, check it out, and they'll give it a test run and make sure that it's ready for the next time your power goes off. So get on the list. Give them a call. 270-777-2024. Very easy number to remember. 270-777-2024. Or you can go to rnrcontrols.com or rnrhvac.com, because with R&R, you'll never, ever be without. Okay, let's get to your comments tonight. We got a bunch. Let's see here. This is Connie watching from Metcalfe County. Thank you, Connie. Linda, sure loved today. Boy, I did too. Nice. Nice. Let's see. Tad, is that? No, T. Adams. Okay, T. Adams, 1227, watching from Hendersonville. Thank you. I've got that rainy day. Here comes that rainy day feeling again. Yeah, I like that song. But yes, we have that rainy day feeling again. Thank you for watching from Hendersonville. Now, you're down there in my stomping grounds. I'm originally from White House. And so all you got to do is go down the road and you come right out in Hendersonville, Shackle Island Road. You go Tyree Springs Road out of White House. Then you go Shackle Island Road to 31E, Gallatin Road, and there's Hendersonville. So you're watching practically from my old stomping grounds. Thank you for watching in Hendersonville. Here's Leon in Franklin. Thank you, Leon. Shelley from Cave City. Here's Carolyn. It's raining in Rosine. That should be a song. It should be a song. Bill Monroe should have had a song. It's rain in Rosine. Oh, the grandfather of bluegrass music. Good old Bill Monroe, Rosine, Kentucky. Let's see here. Danny, thanks for the update. Got a little hot using the chainsaw today and now got some congestion. Well, that's the wind. The wind did that to you, Danny. So at least you got out and took advantage of the day and did some sawing wood, whatever you did there. Here's Gail watching from Summer Shade. Thank you. Debbie, snow all gone. Stephen Decker. Okay. There's Stephen Decker. E-Town. Okay. Here's Ellen watching from Horse Cave. Thank you very much. Stephen said, seen a lake in town today and it still had thick ice, 8 inches deep and froze up. Oh, he was talking about a lake in E-Town where he's from. And yes, there are some ponds and maybe some, I don't know about lakes, but it was probably a big pond, Steve, that was frozen over. But yeah, those are going to be hard to get rid of. Here's Susan watching in Glasgow. Gregory, thanks for the forecast. Here is Letha watching in Burkesville. Thank you very much. Here's Terry watching from Bardstown, one of my favorite towns. I love Bardstown. I need to schedule getting on the dinner train. Every time I go by there, the dinner train, and it stays booked up. That's the problem. Every time I try, okay, for Valentine's Day, Sheila and I are gonna book the dinner train. That's gonna be our Valentine. And every time I go to do it, it's booked up. Oh, am I gonna have to do it like a year in advance? Probably. But that's so cool. If you guys have not checked out the dinner train in Bardstown, it's awesome. Here is Barbara watching from Albany. Albany. Here's Charlie in Smiths Grove. Debbie, don't want no rain. Well, sorry, Debbie. We're going to get some. Let's see here. I'm just checking out some other ones. Just going through some of these are just hellos and, Stephen, do you see any more 70s? Sure. But, we may have to we may have to wait, is what I meant to say. We may have to wait a few weeks before 70s come back. But maybe the end of next week, the way the temperatures were going into the 60s, it's possible. Here's Junice watching from Cave City. Thank you so much. Let's see. Any new ones have come in? Here is Carl watching from Nephis. Hey, that's over in Butler County. Yeah, there you go. Carl, thank you. Penny. Is there another snow coming? I heard that. Oh, Penny. Penny, 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 Penny. Whew. No. There might be at some point, but in this forecast that I just showed you, that takes you a week, week and a half, almost 2 weeks out, no. Whoever you heard that from, you're getting misinformation. Please do not share it, because that's how these things get started, and they just keep on manifesting themselves, and it just turns into a big hoopla. Okay? All right, you guys. That's it for now. It's just a little after 7:15 here on your Tuesday evening. Thank you for watching 270 Weather. Hopefully you'll see me on TV tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. for News 40 Sunrise right there at News 40. And then again, News 40 at 9 and News 40 at noon. Don't forget, on our NBC channel, we have the Winter Olympics, which are going on. In fact, they're on right now from Milan. Yes. So you can see that on NBC 40. In the meantime, thank you for watching, and God bless you.